The MMA community was set ablaze when Dana White publicly confirmed his interest in a super fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. That one sentence from Dana flipped the lightweight and welterweight divisions on their heads. And now, Islam's close friend Daniel Cormier has weighed in, saying that just the fact Dana said it out loud means one thing: it's happening. According to DC, if Islam gets past JDM, the next move is already locked. Islam versus Ilia is the super fight on deck. But what does this mean for Ilia in the meantime? Islam versus JDM is expected to go down in the fall, and Ilia has also stated that he wants to make his return by the end of the year. So if he's serious about fighting again this year, it won't be against Makhachev. It could be someone like Paddy Pimblett, which would be huge business-wise, but a completely different challenge style-wise. On the flip side, if El Matador chooses to sit out, he can line himself up perfectly for a blockbuster showdown with Islam in early 2026. Of course, that all depends on Islam beating Jack Della, who is no easy fight and brings real danger on the feet.
I don't know that there's a bigger fight that the UFC can make that's going to be bigger than Topuria and Makhachev if they are to fight. Guys, Ilia Topuria is a massive favorite over everyone in the UFC except Islam Makhachev. And that in itself tells you what people think of Islam because of how highly regarded Ilia Topuria is right now, especially after becoming the UFC lightweight champion in the fashion that he did against Charles Oliveira. But Dana said it right away: if Islam becomes welterweight champ, you have a super fight. You have a super fight, and what we know about the UFC is when there is a super fight, it's hard to turn away from it, because not only does it bring the bucks, it brings the eyes. And that's a fight that I think would bring a lot of eyes to the UFC and the product. There are a lot of things moving right now in the UFC, and a lot of it is centered around those two guys, right?
Dustin Poirier has revealed the game plan he believes will carry him to victory and into retirement at UFC 318 against Max Holloway. In what he says will be the final fight of his legendary career, Poirier broke it all down during UFC Countdown. At 36 years old, the Diamond made it clear the plan is to read Max's timing early, beat him to the punch, hurt him with clean shots, and make him pay every time he misses. Poirier isn't denying Holloway's greatness, but in his words, come July 19th, he'll be better. Here's what DP said, quote, "In my mind, I get his timing early, beat him to the punch, I hit him with shots that hurt him, make him miss, and make him pay by being better that night. He's a great fighter, no doubt." End quote. This bout isn't just another main event, it's a full-on send-off. Poirier may never have held the undisputed lightweight belt, but he's already secured his place as one of the greatest lightweights in UFC history. And that's not just fan talk. Dana White himself confirmed that UFC 318 in New Orleans was literally built for him. So now, with the light shining bright in his home state, Dustin's aiming to close the book his way, with a win over a fellow legend and the kind of retirement that only a few fighters ever get, on top on his terms. This fight isn't just huge for Dustin, it's massive for Max too. While all the attention is rightfully on Poirier's retirement and his final walk to the octagon, let's not forget what's at stake for Max. If Holloway has any serious plans of making a real run at lightweight, this is the fight he absolutely has to win. What are your thoughts? Who wins the final chapter of this trilogy? Leave your comments below. Daniel Cormier just dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. On his latest show, DC revealed something that genuinely shocked fans. Khabib Nurmagomedov said he would shake Conor McGregor's hand if they ever crossed paths and if Conor's family was present. That last part matters because anyone who knows Khabib knows how seriously he takes things like family, respect, and personal values. But here's where it gets even crazier. DC went on to explain that he actually had a real argument with Khabib in the past about all of this. Khabib once confronted him for being cool with Conor. The Eagle didn't like it, and he explained to DC that he had kept his distance from Jon Jones out of respect for DC because he knew DC and Jones had serious beef. So in that conversation, when they were going back and forth, Khabib revealed his plans to shake Conor's hand if the circumstances allow it. This is Khabib and Conor we're talking about. The most personal, nasty, and heated rivalry in UFC history. A rivalry that went way beyond fight promotion. This was about culture, family, religion, and real animosity. The bus incident, UFC 229, the post-fight brawl, it was war. And for Khabib to now say he'd offer a handshake under the right circumstances, that's a huge shift. Let's roll the footage.
I saw Conor McGregor one time in Abu Dhabi. I don't know who he was fighting. Maybe it was Dustin Poirier. We were shaking hands and we were talking a little bit and we're very kind of chummy, right? And Khabib was like, brother, I don't understand. He was like, I don't understand this. He said, if I see Conor with his wife, I'll shake his hand because that's what you're supposed to do. He goes, but brother, I mean, and I initially kind of fought it. Then I started thinking about it and people close to me were like, no, Daniel, he's right. He is right. Look at the stance he has taken in regards to you and everybody you deal with. Why in the world would you not take that same stance? So, when asked about Jones' comments, Khabib had this to say. He said, I've never had any disagreement with Jon Jones. He's a great fighter, but my friend Daniel Cormier is in conflict with him, and automatically, he cannot be my friend.
Max Holloway recently spoke on the potential Ilia Topuria rematch and explained why things might be different this time around. According to Max, the key difference is that they're both now at lightweight. That extra weight, it changes everything. Pace, durability, power. Max believes with both of them not cutting to 145, it levels the playing field in a way fans didn't see the first time. But let's be honest, no one's really asking for this rematch right now. El Matador beat him fair and square, and the division's already stacked with fresh matchups that fans are way more excited about. Still, it's not surprising that Max is pushing for it. This dude's a warrior through and through. He's not wired to just accept a loss and move on. He'll chase that run back no matter what. It's the same thing with Volk. Both of them are built from that same cloth, high-level, prideful competitors who just can't let an L sit. The only problem is, fans don't really share that urgency. They've seen how those fights played out. They want new blood, fresh chaos. But for Max, for Volk, these aren't just fights, they're unfinished business. And yeah, maybe it's not what the fans are begging for, but you gotta respect the mindset.
Do you identify anything that would be significantly different if you and Ilia were to fight at lightweight, just in terms of the weight and what that contributes?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna both be 10 pounds heavier than what we were at 45. So that's about it. You know, I think you know, right now without looking over Dustin Poirier, I gotta go out there, you know, stake my claim, do something special, get my hand raised, have a moment for me, go get a moment, and all this he said, she said, what is this, what we do? I mean, like I said, the first time I fight the man, we're gonna find out, you know. We can find out Saturday night. So first things first is Dustin Poirier, and then, you know, we can focus on all that noise after.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.